Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The Georgia Bulldogs back in the news in the 2024 cycle, trending for two top targets in the class of 2024. Going to talk about Nate Frazier and five-star linebacker Justin Williams, two guys that would add to what's already just an incredible class that the Georgia Bulldogs are putting together. I know they just had a decommitment from Jalen Hayward. Personally, I think that's a good sign for maybe landing KJ Bolden. But this Georgia Bulldogs team continues to trend for what is one of the best classes that we have seen in the modern recruiting era. Going to talk about some top targets. Now, before we do, just want to say thank you to the Georgia Bulldog fans. You guys have been absolutely awesome with all the support you guys have shown. Every time I get a chance to talk some Georgia football, certainly I'm going to do so in the comment section. Ton of Go Dogs, getting me kind of fired up. So appreciate you guys supporting the boys. If you do enjoy the updates, you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And I promise, as many commits as I can cover for the Georgia Bulldogs, I certainly will be. And starting off with Nate Frazier, this one seems to be picking up a lot of traction, which was a really intriguing development. And you take a look at the running back spot. I mean, Chauncey Bowen's already in the class. Dwight Phillips already in the class. Two top running backs. Georgia has a chance to add a third top 10 running back in the 2024 class. And Nate Frazier, the four-star running back from the state of California, plays his football in Mater Dei. And this would be one of the more impressive running back calls that we've seen. And it's not surprising that all these running backs want to go play for Georgia after what Georgia has done on the offensive line. If you're a top running back, you know you're going to get a lot of work in Athens, Georgia, and you know you're going to be running behind a dominant offensive line. And Nate Frazier is the next guy on the Georgia Bulldogs. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this commitment coming relatively soon because it seems like it's picking up traction awfully quickly. Dwight Phillips in the class is kind of the speedster back. Chauncey Bowen's more of the bruiser back, right? Sitting at 220 pounds. Nate Frazier is probably the all-purpose, all-around best back that will be added to this class on three. He's the number one running back, the top 15 national prospect. There's a ton to like about Nate Frazier. And when he does commit, we'll get into the film. But from what I've seen, you're getting a complete running back. His stats, only 61 carries for 791 yards. And if you want to crunch the numbers at home, I already did. That's an average of 11.5 yards per carry. This dude averages over a first down run every single time he touches the ball. Was behind some really talented running backs as a junior and sophomore at Mater Dei. Will be the main feature guy for Mater Dei this senior season. I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about Nate Frazier being the number one running back or a five-star running back as this cycle comes to a close, because again, didn't get that much work his sophomore and junior year because he's been behind so many talented backs. This year will be the workhorse. He'll be the workhorse for Mater Dei, and I expect him to really make some noise. Again, 11.4 yards per carry is absolutely bonkers, and you're talking about a guy who's 5'11", 208 pounds, runs a 10.5 800-meter dash time too. So when you're talking about breakaway speed, he certainly has that, but I think his main, like what you love most about his game, I should say, is when he gets to the second level, he makes you miss and he has the burners, a really good foot speed, really, really good change of direction. And when he does get to the open field, he has absolute burners. Now, this is not the only Georgia target that could be wrapping up his commitment relatively soon. And a lot of you guys have been asking me for updates on Justin Williams, the five-star linebacker out of the state of Texas. And what it sounded like he was trending Oregon's way for a long time. Now, there's two developing stories. One, Georgia just swings a big stick when it comes to recruiting linebackers, right? You look at all the linebackers Georgia has put out into the league. You go back to the days where Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Channing Tindall all went in the first 4 rounds of the NFL draft. Nakobe Dean criminally underrated in that draft. And then you take a look at this year's linebacker class. Dumas Johnson and Munden probably going to go in the NFL draft too. So, again, it gets back to the point of Georgia being a proven developer of talent. You know you're going to go to Georgia. You're going to get developed into an NFL player. You know you're going to go to Georgia and you're going to compete for national championships. It all makes sense for Justin Williams. Now, the other school you're battling for Justin Williams, Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. What has happened with Oregon is they've taken 3 linebackers already, 2 in the last couple of weeks, right? And these guys are legit linebackers, not to the quality Justin Williams is, but they've taken 2 linebackers. And it sounds like they're trending for one more, Braden Platt from the state of Washington. I don't know if they're taking 4 linebackers in this class. So I think that really opens the door for the Georgia Bulldogs to make a lot more sense as a landing spot for Justin Williams. And what you're getting with Justin Williams is, again, an absolute freak show, right? 6'2", 205 pounds, probably going to play at 220 pounds when he gets to school. You get a look into the caliber of athlete you're getting. An 11-second 100-meter dash time. We just talked about Nate Frazier being a burner at 10.58. Justin Williams, at 6'2", 205 pounds, runs an 11-second 100. You talk about having that sideline-to-sideline speed. He certainly has that. And what's even more intriguing for the Georgia Bulldogs, 105 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, and 8.5 sacks as a junior at the high school level. He's a guy that can go sideline to sideline. But most importantly, when it comes to getting downhill, getting behind the line of scrimmage, that's where Justin Williams thrives. And that's how the Georgia Bulldogs use their linebackers. I mean, you see Georgia send their backers through the A-gap and B-gaps consistently. Justin Williams is a phenomenal blitzer who loves getting downhill. It seems to be a match made in heaven. Again, when Justin Williams commits, we'll dive into the film. Justin Williams does seem like another massive target for the Georgia Bulldogs. And again, you talk about who Georgia's trending for, what did this class kind of end at? Nate Frazier and Justin Williams seem to be the next couple targets that might be going to the Georgia Bulldogs. And then you look extending it, right? KJ Bolden, 5-star safety. You just had Jalen Hayward decommit. I think that's a good sign for KJ Bolden. When I hear more news, I'll kind of like keep you guys updated there. Again, playing ball with Dylan Raiola at Buford now. I like that. And again, at the end of the day, Georgia kind of has proven to have their pick of the litter when it comes to those top guys on the defense side of the ball. So take a look at Nate Frazier, take a look at Justin Williams, and potentially down the road, KJ Bolden. And we're chasing that #1 class ever in 2024. Georgia seems to be doing quite a good job with that one. Again, we'll keep you guys updated. Georgia fans, shout out you guys. You guys have shown a ton of support to the fellas. So if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.